Hey everybody, I'm working really hard on next week's Trio Tuesday, but I came across a unique opportunity to share some tips and tricks on mixing with the Trio Plus. So stay tuned because the next few minutes I'm going to share them with you. Well, hey there, it's Scott at the Pedal Guy. How you doing? Where we're all about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, and pedal sales. I love pedals, and so do you. In this video, I'm going to share some power tips on how to really get the most out of mixing the Trio Plus when it comes to layering your loops along with your drum, along with your bass, and along with some live guitar on top of all of that. And I haven't even gotten to the vocals yet, but I think that this will help you when you're trying to get the most out of the Trio Plus to make the mix sound as solid as possible. Let's get to it. Okay, just as a reminder, I'm using the NuX MG-300 as my processor to drive this session. I'm going out of there into the guitar input on the Trio Plus. Now, originally, I was only going to use the mixer output on the Trio Plus, and it just became obvious to me as I worked more with this track that it simply wasn't going to get the job done because it was just too many signals going through that one output, and trying to control everything from these three knobs just made it a little cumbersome. So I chose to employ the amp output of the Trio Plus because I felt that that just helped in sending the looper off to that separate output and keeping the drums and bass on its own output. And it just made things a lot better. So let me turn the looper all the way down and let me just play some of the drums and bass so you can hear what we're working with here. So you can hear that you can see that I've cranked the drums pretty much all the way up. And the bass is at about 3 o'clock. And I didn't want it all the way up because there's no reason for it to go this loud. It's probably better that it's about at 3 o'clock because it gently complements the rhythm. But as I start to introduce the rhythm guitar, I got a nice kind of police sort of sound there on that one. Now, that just made it a little easier just to make the looper go out through its own separate output over here to my mixing board, because my mixing board then I could then pan it to the left or the right a little bit and create kind of a stereophonic effect. And that's the other key word I want to use is stereo, because now I'm going to plug my guitar in that I'm going to play live along with this track, and you're going to hear a whole other thing that needs to be addressed. Okay, now I've got my guitar plugged in and ready to go. Let's hear, and we're also going to switch to the part 3 here because this is a bit more involved as far as the guitar part goes. So let's play that looper track back. Now let's bring the bass in. And let's bring the drums back. So it's a very involved loop, right? It's a very involved part of the song. So if I try to squeeze the guitar from here to here and put that live guitar that on top of it's going to sound something like this. It might be a bit much because all of that is being squeezed through this one output. And also, it just, well, judge for yourself. So let me get this playing back really quick and listen for yourself. For my money, that doesn't quite get it done. It sounds almost artificial, and I want to create something special out of this. So here's the thing. The MG-300 is a stereo processor, so why not enjoy the benefits of working with a stereo processor in a studio environment? And how do we do that? Well, I can take the output of the MG-300, I can disconnect it from the Trio Plus, and I can just simply run it to its own channel because I don't need the guitar to be plugged into the Trio Plus anymore. We can actually separate ourselves from the Trio Plus and make it simply a playback unit. And that's going to make a huge difference in the mix. Let me demonstrate what I mean. So here's what we had before. And now what I can do is simply unplug the MG-300 from the Trio Plus and just plug in a stereo pair that's going off to its own mixer channel. And now we get something that sounds like this. So we went from something that sounded pretty narrow and nasal to something that sounds a lot fuller. And now, on top of that, I had to now sing on that. So there's actually a lot more that's involved in making all of this work. But that is a tip that I hope you can use in your songs. Okay, so that concludes this tutorial. I hope you got something out of it. Basically, what I'm trying to get across to you is that yes, a lot of it can go through the Trio Plus. However, don't forget that you do have additional ways to route your signal to make it sound less artificial and more real, because it's really what the Trio Plus is all about. Is you want to take something that sounds like this to something that sounds like that. And what I just showed you should take you a long way. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, be sure to visit us at thepedalguy.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly videos and tutorials. Thanks for stopping by here at thepedalguy.com, where I love pedals and so do you.